I'm Chase Snider here at the Greene County Courthouse, where today Christian Kirk, a Kickapoo basketball player, had his chance not on the hardwood, but on a court of law. This coming after a lawsuit filed against MISHA, the Missouri State High School Activities Association, regarding Christian Kirk's eligibility. The judge ruled today that it will be 24 hours before he makes a decision on a temporary restraining order that would give Kirk immediate eligibility. We'll keep you updated with all the latest now. Let's take a look inside the courtroom as for what was said today.
I know you're not used to this either, but wanted to get your reaction.
All I'm worried about is just playing basketball.
And from what you heard today, I mean, obviously it's going to be a little bit longer. So what is this wait like?
Yeah, I mean, I've been waiting for quite a while now, so what's a couple more weeks?
Is that really the way you feel? I mean, MISHA wanted to say, middle of January at one point for the next hearing. I mean, if they keep moving it back, the season will be over.
Yeah, it's better not doing anything, though. I could just be sitting around, not trying anything, so that's all I can really worry about.
Your reaction?
Well, we obviously want to get this fine young man back on the basketball court, and that's what we're here to do, and hopefully that's what we'll accomplish.
I don't have much else to add. We had a fair opportunity today to present this before Judge Cardone. As you heard, he's going to take it under advisement, so tomorrow we're going to find out if he's going to grant the temporary order. But even if he doesn't, we're pleased that on January 6th we're going to get an opportunity for this to be finally decided, and then at that point we'll know whether Christian gets to play. I'm hopeful tomorrow that he'll get to play, but it's in Judge Cardone's hands at this point.
Let me say this, gentlemen. Christian Kirk is a fine young man. He belongs on a basketball court and not in a court of law. So we hope to get him back into the right court soon.
All of us understand what those rules are for. All of us who have dealt with MISHA for many years and seen some of the things that have been done over the years, we understand the spirit of what those rules are about. And objectively, it doesn't appear that, those rules were not for this. And it seems like a pretty clear-cut case, but obviously MISHA's, I guess, felt that maybe once the dam is broken that other things will come because of this. But it seems like the spirit of what these rules are for is not being broken in this case, and it seems like he should be allowed to play. Is that, common sense is not necessarily part of law, I don't guess, huh?
Unfortunately, the judge can't make a decision just based on common sense. I'm sure he wishes he could. He's got to find that MISHA abused its discretion in this matter. And we feel like that the decision was so far off base that they did so. And that the purpose of MISHA's rules are to prevent shopping for a new high school for athletic purposes, to change coaches, to get on a better team. And they decided that was not the case here. That Christian didn't move to Springfield for athletic purposes. Therefore, there is no greater purpose being served by preventing him from playing basketball. There's no reason for it whatsoever, and I believe that the judge will see that and see that the rules in this case are not being applied fairly.
When the comments were made about limiting, the courts are limited in what they can do, and MISHA wanted to point out that maybe, you shouldn't be inserting your opinion in these cases. Did that concern you guys at all when they started bringing up maybe the court shouldn't even be involved in this?
No. That's they're just stating that the court, if it's a close call and the evidence could be decided either way, the court just can't simply say, I disagree with MISHA. It's got to find that there was no rational basis for MISHA's decision and for the rules that they apply, and we think there's evidence that they can find in that way. But the court just can't simply substitute its decisions for MISHA without the proper evidence and standards being followed.
I have one question for Christian. What's going through your mind when you're sitting there through all this? Obviously it's not something you're familiar with, but nerves or...
Yeah, it's pretty nerve-wracking just hearing stuff back and forth, and definitely from the other side of things. But I just try to keep a pretty clear mind and try to not just let things go in one ear and not the other.
Considering a career in law now, you're going to be more familiar by the time it's over with.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe in the long run.
Christian, I know it's been a long process. How do you kind of bide your time for the next 24 hours and 25 minutes?
I'm probably going to go practice today, get some shots up, and try and get my mind off of it as much as possible. Because if I thought about it, I think the next 24 hours will feel about 24 days.
Anybody else?
If this is granted tomorrow, will you play? You guys have a game tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Will you play tomorrow night?
I hope so. Hope that'll be the case.
That's a call the school would have to make. It's not a call that the judge in this case is going to make. I mean,
He would be eligible.
he says he's eligible, and it goes back to the school.
Real fast, can you tell us, this is just the first stage, what the other stages are on down the road after this?
Well, we're going to have a full hearing the first week of
January
January.
6th.
And hopefully we'll get the issues fully and fairly litigated at that time. And then I would expect a ruling pretty shortly after that hearing, a final ruling from the judge.
So that, all the rest of it's going to be taken care of on that day, supposedly.
At this stage.
Very good.
What's kind of your guys' approach between now and then?
Well, there's obviously preparation for the hearing, organization, but there was some new evidence presented today, the transcripts from what the board did up in Columbia at the 2 separate hearings that Christian and his family were at. We haven't had an opportunity to read through the transcripts of those. Today is the first time that we've received those. And so just further preparation and briefing for the judge.
Here's one important point about that transcript. That was a closed hearing up there. His attorney was not allowed to do anything on his behalf. The control of the court reporter was up to the Misha board. Okay, so I'm not convinced if there are certain things in the transcript, as Misha's attorney pointed out, that that's the whole story of what was said at the hearing. Anytime you exclude an attorney from representing someone, usually there's a reason, and usually the reason is you're trying to gain a tactical advantage.
It doesn't seem fair that someone is representing themselves without anyone to help them out
Right.
in a situation that's so critical.
This young man's never done this before, and there was 10 or 12 board members who've done this every day against one young man who's a high school senior. And I think it would have been a fair process to allow him to have an attorney. And the attorney could have made a lot of, maybe if they let him have an attorney, the attorney could probably make the points that need to be made, and we wouldn't be here today. So that's why we, unfortunately, they didn't do that.
In the event that the temporary injunction is not granted tomorrow, is there's zero possibility that Christian will play, I suppose?
Correct.
Well, not
Immediately,
immediately, but we're not. I mean, tomorrow's just probably going to be a ruling on the temporary order, and then after that, we'll get a full hearing. And so, no matter what the outcome of tomorrow's ruling is, his chances of playing basketball are not ended with that.
And Christian, obviously hoping for the best tomorrow. If it does turn out we have to wait for that January 6th date, what's going to be the mentality for you over the break with the William Jewell Classic? Just going to be status quo as far as student coaching?
Yeah, back to Coach Kirk for the week.
Reporting on the latest on the Christian Kirk eligibility case with Matt Chamberlin for PN Media, this is Chase Snider reporting live from the Greene County Courthouse. And of course, for all the latest, stay tuned to PNtoday.com.